You may have seen in previous videos me driving around in the Baller LE based on the real-world variant, the Range Rover. Here she is here, the good old Range, and that is because it is a great choice for a luxury sport vehicle when you want to do some clothes shopping, maybe pick up some snacks at a gas station, or just leisurely get from point A to point B while taking in the sights, because there are a lot of sights in this game, and sometimes it's not always about getting there in the fastest time. And sure, the new Pagani Toros, styled after Lamborghini's newest SUV, may be the fastest four-door vehicle and the fastest SUV in the game, both around a track and top speed. However, if I wanted to drive fast, I would pick a more proper Lamborghini supercar in the game, such as the Tempesta or the Reaper. Which is why I am very excited to check out Rockstar's newest addition to the luxury sport SUVs with the Ubermacht Rebla GTS, which you can pick up and purchase on the Legendary Motorsports website for just shy of $1.2 million. And in this video, we're gonna find out if it's any good. This is the new Rebla GTS based on a BMW X5, and I've got to say, Rockstar has done an amazing job styling this. Starting off at the front of the vehicle, really like that raised hood. Can barely see it from the sunlight, but there are angles on that raise the hood, with a nice front grille, some very angry headlights. Got the Ubermacht logo right above the grille, and some very aggressive aerodynamic styling and futuristic styling on the bottom of the front bumper. Very cool. Moving on to the side of the vehicle, we've got a GTS logo on the front fender with some very cool styling along the door handles. You can see they actually styled some aerodynamic lines in the doors. Even on the bottom above the side skirts, they actually have some additional layers and angles on the bottom of the doors as well. Also, the arches above the wheels, I'm really hoping we can customize those and put those out a little bit more of a wide body style for those fenders. Moving on to the rear of the vehicle, I do like the angles on the rear trunk lid. We have the Rebla logo on the left, the Ubermacht logo or emblem above the license plate, and the GTS emblem on the right, and some very sleek taillights with some white LEDs, which I'm assuming are the reverse lights for when backing up. Very cool, as well as the shark fin antenna on the rear on the top for our XM satellite radio. And of course, the coolest feature on this vehicle is this giant panoramic moonroof. Do not get this confused with a small dinky sunroof, as this is much larger, much more luxurious, and you can really get a very cool bird's eye view into the vehicle to see your character driving, and if you have friends in there as well, really excited to check that out in action. So then, very impressed with first impressions, first look at the vehicle. Let's take her to the mod shop and see what we can do for customization.
What's up, buddy? How's the new purchase?
What's wrong with her now?
Alright, let's see what the old BMW has for customization, starting with some race brakes, of course. Moving on to bumpers, front bumpers. This stock one looks damn good. Gonna be hard to beat, but let's see what they got. Got some splitter fins on the very bottom corner there. Can get those in carbon as well. Street splitter, oh, I stand mistaken. We've got a lower lip. Can get that in carbon as well. Very nice. Aftermarket splitter has those rods, stabilizing rods on the bottom, more of a racing style. Can get that in carbon as well. Twin wedges, ooh, look at that. Really goes with the lines on the stock bumper, and can get that in carbon also. And I am on the fence between the standard street splitter or the twin wedges, both in carbon. The street splitter looks like something you would put on yourself, aftermarket from a shop, and the twin wedges does look a bit more modern, a bit more sleek. Almost looks like it would come straight from BMW themselves, so I think I'll put this one on for now. And moving on to the rear bumper, we've got the stock secondary, which doesn't change anything yet. Carbon, there we go, or plastic. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Might be a little bit too much. We're going to keep that stock for now. Engine, level 4.
You got a whole lot more horses under there now.
Okay, exhaust. I'm really hoping that we'll get some popping and some backfiring from some of these. So we'll go for the twin bore exhaust. That's pretty massive, coming straight out of the gates. Oh yes, that's exactly what I was hoping for. The Baller LE does not have that backfire, which I always wish it did. So now we're in business. We've got the twin bore, titanium twin bore, aluminum. Okay, all the same style, just different colors. Oval exhaust, just one giant piece instead of the 2 exits. Can get that in carbon as well. Infinity, ooh. Yeah, I think that's like the 2 of them, but not separated as much as the twin bore. And can get that in carbon. Do these backfire as well? Oh, yes. And compared to the twin bore, the Infinity exhausts always look a little bit more up to date, a little bit more modern. So it's going to be between carbon or standard for me. Let's go with the standard Infinity exhausts. Okay, and we have some options for the fenders as well. So we can do secondary plastic. Really hoping we can make these wider, more of a wide style. Carbon fenders, yes, then we got the primary wide, secondary wide, plastic, or carbon. And let's stick with primary, but definitely add that width to the vehicle. Very nice. Moving back to the front of the vehicle, we have some options for the grille. So we have the stock here, can do carbon, I like that. Exposed. Carbon exposed, has the carbon trim with the mesh grill. Really liking that a lot. Street grill, can get that in carbon. Roadster grill, if you want to make your BMW a hot rod, go to the drag strip. Some American style on the European Ubermacht. Get that in carbon as well. And Ubermacht grill, yes, please. If we can get rid of that logo on the hood above, this logo almost looks like it's glowing, so that'll be interesting to see as well, but really digging this one, and can get that in carbon as well. That is looking pretty mean. So let's throw that on and hope we can take that logo off the hood. Speaking of hood, it is the next option after the grille, so we've got the stock hood here. Can get rid of that logo with a carbon stock hood. Can do a reverse intake or inset in carbon. Then we have the twin inset hood. Not bad option at all. Can do that in carbon. Ridgeline. Adds another third layer on the center there in carbon. The scooped hood. Okay, front scoop. Vanity hood. Ooh, you can see through to the motor. I can't wait to check out that motor when we pop the hood after we get out of here. Get that in carbon, and the last option would be the aftermarket hood with the grills on the side. And of course can get that in carbon also. And I've got to admit, I do like the stock hood a lot, and the closest to the stock hood without any crazy grills or vents or scoops would be the Ridgeline hood. Can get that in carbon or OEM paint, and I will go with the OEM styled Ridgeline hood. Moving on, let's check out the headlights on this bad boy. Got the stock, which is a hyper white, or can do the xenon, which adds a bit more color to it. And yeah, let's throw the xenons onto this luxury SUV. Ooh, this should be interesting. We've got some liveries, so can do some racing stripes. I like subtle on these kinds of vehicles. That is definitely an option. German automotive, got the German colors for the German luxury sport SUV. Ooh, on the front there too. That is really cool. I like how that comes through and around. Smoke screen, okay, more of a modern aftermarket livery. Kasama Racer, some Japanese styling on the European SUV. What does that say? Japanese beer with the lucky cat. It's an interesting livery. Wonder why they put it on this vehicle. Can do the Ocean Showroom. That is actually really cool. Ubermacht Performance Tuning Department. Like the colors and the geometric design on this one a lot. The Sunset Showroom, different colors. Can do the Redwood Rally if you want to take this off-roading. Classic Redwood vintage livery. In camo, another modern design. Choke Specialists, number 8 on the back. And we've got the Aztec. That's definitely interesting. Got the Mindmacht on the bottom of the rear doors there. Little design up top, little square grid. And last but not least, we have the Split Siberia, which that is definitely split. This looks almost like it could be kind of a Russian mafia style vehicle might see out in Russia with the mobs, and I am digging it. That is a cool livery. I do have a certain color in mind when we get to the respray options. I'm going to put the racing stripes on for now. Might come back to this and look at other options, but for now we're going to go with the racing stripes. And so far, I am impressed with the options for customizations on this SUV. As we are going to mirrors, we can do stock, secondary, or carbon. And why not? Let's throw some carbon on there. What the hell? Moving back to the rear of the vehicle with license plate options, we will do the yellow on black plate with the High Life custom plate. All right, let's check this out in a few different colors. We can change the trim color. I was really hoping for that. That is awesome. Let's first see what this looks like in a few different colors. This looks very menacing in black. Very good option to black it out. Can use it for the heist, for doing some of the prep work, cruising around, mafia style. Very tempting. Also looks very good in the racing blue, a popular BMW blue that you see nowadays on the roads. Bit more racing inspired and a bit more fun. And for me, I am going with the stone silver. Really like how it complements all of the black on this vehicle, from the headlights to the trim pieces between the windows to the carbon fiber mirrors to the rear of the vehicle. We've got that diffuser on the bottom. Black license plate, the black surroundings of the taillights. Very nice. Even brings out the logos quite nicely as well. The GTS and the Ubermacht logos on the vehicle. And we'll throw on an ice white pearlescent to make that paint shine and pop a little bit more. All right, let's see what this trim color changes. Go from black to white, and just the stitching. That is unfortunate. I was hoping it would change everything. But as we can see from first person, it only changes the stitching around the seats, the door panels, front and rear, and the front dash as well. And I think I'm in the mood today for some racing blue, maybe some ultra blue. Little bit too loud. Stick with the racing blue for the trim stitching. Moving on, we have some options for the roof. Not sure if we would want to do that, but we have stock, can do secondary or carbon. Carbon out the top of the vehicle, and we'll leave that stock. And moving on, we've got some options for the side skirts. Move to the other side, get some better lighting. We've got stock, can do secondary or carbon. And the next option would be Ridgeline, which looks a little bit more modern, a little bit more angles on the rear of that. Can get that in secondary or carbon as well. And last option is the Aftermarket Skirts, which looks like they do go down a little bit lower. Can get that in secondary or carbon as well. And comparing that to stock, yeah, that does look a bit better. We'll just throw that on. Spoiler options, get some increased traction. Got the ducktail spoiler, which goes on in black. I do like that a lot. Can get that in carbon. See if we got any big wangs on here. Got the performance spoiler. That actually doesn't look too bad, going around with that black trim on the sides on the roof as well. And last option is the competition spoiler. That's interesting. That comes out quite a bit. And this option is interesting. It is flush. It does connect with everything pretty decently, but I think I will keep things simple up here and stick with the carbon ducktail spoiler.
You got great taste.
All right, few options left. Moving on to the suspension of the vehicle. See how much we can lower this bad boy. Going from stock to lowered. That was a hell of a drop. Did you guys see that? Look at this wheel gap just disappear. Boom, much better. Can go down a notch further to street suspension. That is tucked. That is looking really good. And then we have sport, where we get that camber. And last but not least, competition, which same height, just angles the vehicles a bit more. Might look good at a car show, but for my purposes of driving as an everyday driver, let's try the street suspension. And a few options for the vortex generators, as they call them. I like to think of it as a shark fin antenna. Anyways, regardless of what it is, we can do secondary or carbon. And then we can do primary or secondary or carbon on two of them. If one was not enough, you can add two of these guys on. And since I see absolutely no reason for that, we're going to stick with stock. We could do carbon, but I will leave it a little bit more sleek, blending in with the rest of the roof with the stock vortex generator. Transmission. Yes, let's throw a race transmission on here, as well as a turbo, aftermarket turbo tuning, of course.
Can't go wrong with a little extra under the hood.
And I'm actually really liking these stock wheels. I mean, we can look very quickly through the sport category, but I think I'm going to stay with these stock wheels, at least for now, because they are very well designed and they are very unique. Got a few more here under the sports category. And yep, let's leave these shiny OEM Ubermacht rims on for now. And last but not least, we have the windows, which I'm really hoping is not going to tint that lovely panoramic moonroof. And it does. That is unfortunate, but it was to be expected. So the question is, none or light smoke? And we can still see through pretty damn good. And it does add to the look of the vehicle, kind of completes it. So let's put on the light smoke for now, as it does add to the overall experience of the car. And that is everything, all 26 options, a lot of options to go through to choose from, and I am really digging how this vehicle turned out. So let's take her outside, take a closer look, and check out the Rebla GTS in some more detail. Oh yes, just look at that front end. It's looking pretty angry, guys. Pretty angry. Liking how this came out. Check out that exhaust, something I always wished I could get on the Baller LE, which now we have on the Rebla GTS, all-wheel drive powertrain. And this is in the top tier of the SUVs. All the new ones are in the top tier now. It's this, the Novak, and the Tauros. So let's open everything up and check out the details on the Rebla GTS. Okay. Some standard door panels, nothing too crazy. Moving up to the front. And we have got a big old engine cover with the Ubermacht logo on there. Not too bad. I'd say pretty unique. Not too many vehicles with this big engine cover. And it is something you'd see on the real world variant as well. Moving on to the rear, we've got the rear trunk lid that opens up. And some decent space back there. Can fit a body or two, some groceries, maybe a set of golf clubs. Let's check out the interior on this bad boy. And not a fan of the gauge clusters at all. Never like how they protrude up. Not flush, but you can never get everything with every vehicle. Got the door panels. The seats I do like. They are more modern seats. I do wish we could have changed the color from the trim color. But check out this panoramic moonroof. That is so awesome from first person as well. Now then, it is time for my favorite part of the vehicle, where we put the Rebla GTS through its paces in a test drive. We know this is in the top 3 of the SUVs in the game. And I'm going to be comparing it to the Baller LE, the Range Rover, as well as the Tauros. See how the driving experience is on this new luxury sport SUV. You guys ready? Let's ride. Coming out of the gates hot with a little handbrake slide. Go through this tunnel. Brakes, 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 brakes. Remember, this is a SUV, so it's not going to stop as quickly as a sports car or a supercar. Already, I can tell you that the acceleration is very good compared to the Baller LE. The Baller LE is, I believe, it's in the top 10 for speed and handling for SUVs. I want to say it's around 7 or 8. And I can tell the difference immediately from the acceleration on this guy. Let's test the handling a bit here as we try not to wreck the vehicle. Handling is feeling a bit tighter as well. I believe on the suspension, if you do put on the lowest suspension where the wheels are slammed, that it does handle even better than this is now. So keep that in mind. See how the rear swung out there? I believe it would stick to the ground even more so with that lowest suspension setting. But overall, this is handling better than the Baller LE, and I'm quite happy with it. Really digging the new looks on this Ubermacht. So, for the question then, should you buy one? This is number 3 in performance for SUVs. The Novak, which is based on a Maserati SUV, barely nudges this out by milliseconds. Very, very minimal. The Tauros is the king. It is the fastest and best handling 4-door vehicle and SUV in the game. So, if you are looking for performance, you want the best speed and handling, hands down, go with the Tauros. And if you are someone like myself who does want more of a luxury aspect on these SUVs, something to cruise around in a bit more, go at a slower pace once in a while, you're definitely going to want either this or the Novak. Main deciding factor is going to be if you're more of a fan of BMWs or Maseratis, as we have a minor fender bender here with traffic. So if you prefer BMWs, definitely pick up the new Rebla GTS. If you prefer Maseratis, definitely pick up the Novak. However, if you're on the fence, the one deciding factor is going to be this awesome moonroof, panoramic moonroof, which if we switch to first person here, while we're in town, we can look up and see buildings behind us, all around us. That is awesome. Really cool. So that alone is going to be worth it for some people, just like the Ardent vehicle based on a Lotus Esprit, which you can pick up on the Warstock website. It has a nice sunroof, moonroof as well. and it's one of my favorite classic sports cars for that reason. And that is gonna do it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the new Rebla GTS, if you own one, and if so, how often you take it out for a drive, or if you prefer the Novak or the Toros when it comes to the new kings of the SUV category. Until the next video, you guys stay cool, keep on playing GTA, and I will see you guys in the next video. H2TV signing out.